So now it's time to focus on our customer success story. We are honored to have Asbjørn Sundodden, a CFO of Trimtex, telling their story. You, from the audience, have the possibility to ask questions from all our speakers. Our team will monitor the questions, and we will select some of them to go through after the presentations. So now, let's start off with a short video and get the online connection to Norway.
Being an athlete is a lot of hours of hard work when no one is watching you. All those sessions are part of building you as an athlete, getting you mentally stronger. I'm not sure if I love to win more than I hate to lose. I'm Christian Blomfeldt, and I'm 26 years old, from Bergen. My life is triathlon.
Well, hello everyone. It's a pleasure to be joining this event. It's very excited to have this opportunity to talk about the Trimtex story and our experiences with NetSuite. We started off with some inspiration from one of our ambassadors, Christian Blomfeldt. He's a world record holder in the triathlon 70.3 distance, and he is one of the biggest hope for the Norwegian gold medal in the Olympics. Hopefully next year. We never know when it's going to be. Still, may I please have my slide? Yes. Trimtex is a 100% family-owned business. We have now the second generation which own our company, and and everything is managed by that family. So we don't have any big investors. We have only our legacy. So over more than 40 years, we have had a focus on the Nordic market. We are based in Norway. We are close to the Norwegian market, but also our presence within Sweden, Finland, and Denmark has been very strong for many years. Today, we have offices mainly for sales in Norway, in Sweden, Finland, and Denmark. And also we have a great production facility in Pärnu. We had our own operations and productions in Pärnu since 2008, but our first productions was even early in the 90s within Estonia. Trimtex does almost everything by ourselves, except from sewing, where we use 2 or 3 local Estonian subcontractors to help us to do that. So we focus on the technical thing, the technical production, and get help for the sewing. The local production in the Baltics give us a short way to the market, with only a day or two in transport to the biggest market in Norway, and Sweden, and Finland. Myself is not from the family. I'm one of 3 persons in the management group that is not from the Augland family. But I've been in Trimtex for 13 years, so I'm starting to get some experience about the Trimtex brand. When I started 13 years ago, we had a turnover at approximately 4 million euros. And last year, we had 16 million euros. We have increased the turnover, and we have a growth focus in our company. It was based on a strategy to be a bigger player in the market, because we was too small to survive. We had to be bigger. But we have kept the original business idea, which is custom design. And the reason why Trimtex began was that our first generation Augland, Mr. Harald, he was running into the woods and in orienteering and didn't find the clothing. It was so boring. It had only one color. It was no design. So then he got the idea. Okay, let's make this custom design to brighten up the sport. And as technology has evolved the last 13, 14 years, we have used sublimation printing, and that gives us endless possibility within the design, as you can see on some of the photos here. Our focus are the individual endurance sports. It's like triathlon, orienteering, cycling, athletics, and cross-country skiing. It's high focus sports. You have to do your best all the time. In orienteering and triathlon, Trimtex is actually one of the world's biggest brand with customers all over the world. We have customers in New Zealand, in Japan, in the US, in Brazil, and all over Europe. Our other sports are more tense with competitors. They have higher marketing budgets, so our position there is smaller, but we have so the focus is mainly in the Nordics, but we have a big presence there. Also, the business market is important for us. We have big brands like Scania, Nordea, Telia, and also the Swedish Army. When they are competing in relays, in events, then they need quality clothes, then they compete in Trimtex clothes. Our niche of business has a room for a smaller brand. We can go in and compete with Adidas and Nike and Puma because our niche is so small. And our legacy and history in orienteering has given us skills to know how to make profit on a small scale. A normal scale for us is not 5,000 or 6,000, which a small scale is for Nike. A small series for us is 10 or 20 pieces of each product. Not for each size, but combined in all sizes for the customers. And all made to order and a delivery time of 4 to 6 weeks to the market. When ordering something in Asia, we had to wait 6 months to get it. So it's very important to have that close relation to the market and a close way to Pärnu. So what we give to the customers is their unique design. To make that work, we have 20 designers in Pärnu. They design products to the request of our customers and in dialogue with them. If you're talking to Nordea, then they have a clear idea how that design should be. But if you're working to a smaller team, then it's a brainstorming. It's a lot of ideas and the limits. There are almost no limits here. And to make this work, we use this process where all the base products are the same. It's a white product. And then it's not like the old way we are having, you go to the shop and buy a red or a blue or a yellow shirt and press a transfer print on it. No, we press all the transfer and all the colors within the material. So it feels like one, it feels like a part of the fabric. So it's so much better to work with and to compete in. Some of you might remember around 20 years ago, HP had these printers where you have a big campaign and then you can print your picture on a piece of paper and then iron it onto your shirt. Actually, our process is more or less the same, but it's a bit bigger scale and a bit bigger quality. Our printers is 1.6 meters wide. So, okay, we have a bigger, but the idea is almost the same. And so to say, we use a lot of ink. Our business process and business model has been directly to consumers, and that has been since 1976. We do not use shops. Our own sales representatives have direct contact with the customers. They sort out the design and the order directly. In 1976, it was mainly used with a telephone. But the future we use digital means, which is email, Teams meetings, and so on. A big headache for many teams is taking up the order. Okay, how many sizes? What did you want? What did the other one want? And so on. To make this process easier for the customer, we make individual team shops for our customers. Like a club can go in, find their own products, their own design. They make the orders, they pay for it, and after 4 to 6 weeks, they get a box in the mail, and then they can collect their goods. This is something we have done in more than 10 years, and it's a very big help for our customers. And finally, in Pärnu, we also have our product development team. Every year, they develop, let's say, 30 to 60 new base model and update products to make them up to date and be in the top league. And also we use In some cases, to make the high-level products, we use a scientific approach. We use help from the Norwegian technical schools and the Estonian Tartu University, and also our customers and ambassadors. Next, please. But at some point, we realized that to continue the growth and to be an important player in the future markets, we need to update our systems. And we know that for some times, but the struggle to change is so big. And what should we change to? We want the ERP system to be the basis for our business and the basis for other systems. Why? Because here is what the information is first. In around 2014-15, we did start searching for a new ERP system. We had a big e-commerce project at the time, but we didn't find a good solution to do it, and we integrated it with our old legacy system, and it is more or less a nightmare. And also the reporting is both time-consuming and also not existing. The needs was urgent, but there was not a clear alternative for us that we were aware of. So we continued our struggle with our spreadsheet and our legacy system and started to discuss our needs with some consultants and people from the schools, which help us to investigate the market. We'll use a lot of time looking into innovation, which is not very surprisingly because it's a big product. It's a lot of Danish surprise that gives third-party software to it and so on, but it never feels completely right. And the reason was that the more we discussed, the smaller the vision part of it was, and the bigger the third-party software. So I feel it was only third-party software which we didn't know the roadmap to, and it was it was uncertain. So in 2018, NetSuite was introduced to us, and it was, how to say, with a system, it was low at first sight. It was a good match with our needs, and also it supplied with more than we expected. It was a so much better intercompany support, and also it support manufacturing variant, which is important in textile, and also the international focus, and all within a reasonable price range. So, but what was the problem? Yes, NetSuite was new to the Norwegian market. It was a good footprint in Finland, but at the time, it was only a few customers in Norway. So to go for this solution, it was a step of faith. But to be sure of this, that we didn't go into the blind, but had an idea, was that we did two things. We started having a very good conversation with Staria. And secondly, we went to Street World in Las Vegas, not to make money on the slot machines, but to learn about the system, to see the environment, to see everything around it, to see what is working. And then we understand that the system is working, and with the localization apps, which was provided by Staria, we understand that, okay, this works for us. We can start going on to this journey. And our project is still not finished. We started 2 years ago, and it has taken so much longer time than expected. But still, we are now getting close to the goal and expect to finish our first stage in 4 or 5 months. Why does it take so long? Yeah, because there are so many stakeholders. Change is difficult. And also we find we solve one problem and then we get excited and then we try to solve them more and solve them more. And everything while business is running. We started using with the finance module 2 years ago, but the automation of the order process has been painful. And it's no doubt we have learned a lot about NetSuite, but also on our own business. Going on to our next slide, NetSuite is only the first of many steps in the digital transformation of our process for the next years. This is only the foundation. Something we will develop within NetSuite, something we will develop outside of NetSuite and combine them and using the integration to make it work. So we want the customers to get a better customer experience. Some people want to help themselves. They want to make a reorder. They have to make orders. They make the approvals by themselves. So we want to do that and give the customers the opportunity to do what's convenient for them. And might be in the future that sometimes you can go into our web page, design your own clothing, press play, press enter and confirm, pay the bill, and then after 4 to 6 weeks you get a package in the mail without even touching of people. That's one of our future goals. I have a mantra, and that is, what a computer can do, the computer can do. And what do I mean by that? Yeah, I have a lot of employees which are very skilled people. I don't want them to do boring, repetitive tasks when a computer can do them. So I want to free the employees from the repeating task and give them challenging tasks instead, which it's so much more difficult for a computer to do. Let's round up with Christian again. This is a picture, I think it's when I get the world record. And Christian is aiming for a goal. All our ambassadors are aiming for a goal. It might be a victory in the Olympics. It might be a victory in the World Championship. But the victory in that one competition is not the final goal. You win the competition, you celebrate, and then you look into the next goal. So winning the Olympics, if he does, or winning the Ironman is only one small step in a big career. And that's the same as our digital transformation. It is a lot of small milestones in a process that never ends. So we are never finished. The future companies needs to be agile to meet the future needs and the future competition. And we want to be a company that are agile and that survives for the future. Then I think we have time for some questions.
All right. Thank you very much, Asbjørn. It was really inspiring to hear about your growth story. And as you mentioned, we have received quite a lot of questions from the audience, and I would have a couple of them for you as well. So let's take our first question. What is the biggest difference between your old system and NetSuite?
The biggest difference is more or less everything. Because our legacy system is 20, 30 years old. It's on-premise. It's a small system for only one company, not intercompany. Everything. It's not master data management. It's so old-fashioned, so to say. And it's also reaching the end of life date. And making integrations here is not using APIs. It's using third-party software which is installed on our software and computers and so on. NetSuite is so much modern. Even though NetSuite has existed for more than 20 years, it was born in the cloud. It has been it's a real cloud solution with multi-tenancy and giving all that kind of benefits. It's so much easier to connect and to make integrations to that. So some of the integration we are making now to our e-commerce system we could not even think about to doing that 5 years ago. It was not even on the table. So going into this modern time system, I don't have to think if the SQL server working, has someone destroyed our fiber cable. I don't have to think about it because it's work. If my fiber cable is done, I just start my telephone and I log on. So it's so much more flexible to use. And also the development which is happening 2 times a year is giving us so much new functionality that we are looking into. So it's a software which never sleeps. And for our legacy system, it has been this process with yearly updates, but then you have to update all third-party systems. You have to check. So you have for every update, you have a 2 or 3 days downtime because we have to make everything work again. So we don't do that. So we haven't updated our legacy system within 5 years. We don't dare to do it. So we are going into this modern world, and there is a big part of the old system which is better than NetSuite, and that's okay, because the small Norwegian systems are extremely good in banking. But I cannot say 5 minutes there and lose 3 days afterwards. So NetSuite is not perfect, but it's improving so much every year.
All right. Thank you very much for that. And then I have one final question for you as well. So how has your daily working life changed after switching to NetSuite?
Our life is having improved, so to say, because if I don't have to wait on my colleagues to approve some invoices because they are traveling and they have to get home and get this into the office and then turn on the on-prem systems to check their bills. They can do it on the fly. They can do it on the airport. They can do it in the car. It's all available, even in this cloud system. So, and also this stressful days it has been before with making sure that the servers are connected, that the fiber LANs are connected, that all this on-prem system is working. All that is gone. So the focus is so much easier. So and we are also very happy with the connecting with the APIs, with Celigo, with these kind of things that make everything work together. And I didn't mention it, but we added also the CRM functions of NetSuite within our project. And before there were 2 standalone systems. So if I updated one telephone number in my CRM system, it was not updated in the ERP system. And to make that integration work, it was actually not even feasible. So everything is in one system. If you update an email address, it will be correct. It's one time, one place to fix it. The master data management is solved.
All right. Thank you very much. And yes, great that we have you here on this event. And I wish you a really good day in Norway as well. So
Thank you.